Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 207 of the Willu Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, today, I wanted to talk about what gets you invested. What makes you feel attached to certain characters in wrestling, certain stories in wrestling, certain promotions in wrestling, everything and anything, all of the above. What is it that draws you in? Is it the story? Is it like the real? Do you like the realism stories that play off of real life? Do you like the stories with the long, slow build? Do you like the stories like that involve love or romance or like brotherhood, or do you like the betrayal stories, or what kind of stories are the greatest stories to you? Whether it be on any of the television wrestlings or like an indie show. And to me, what gets you invested in a character? Um, for on TV, it's hard nowadays because with social media and kayfabe being dead, it's hard to really get invested in a character. It's almost like you get invested in the person behind the character now because you know so much about them and their personal life. Or if you're just into just work rate, you just get invested in them just because of their wrestling. You don't care how good they talk. You don't care what outfit they wear. You don't care what story they're in. You just want to see their match because that's all you care about is the match. You don't care if there's no story or build up or title or anything behind it. And for like an indie wrestler, what makes you get invested? Is it the look? Is it being personal, like talking with them after a show so you feel like you get to know them? Or you see interviews that they've done, or you bought a shirt from them and they gave you an autograph, or they said something nice to your kid, or took a free picture with you. What is the kind of thing that you look to that get invested? Or is it just something you can't place, like the it factor, like Stone Cold and Rock and Hulk Hogan, those kind of guys? Is it just you can't explain it, and if you wish you could, because you'd be a millionaire? It could be anything like that. Like, I find from my own personal experiences, now I do this silly, corny character, and the kids really like it because I'm showing them, hey, it's okay to have fun. We're all just here to have fun. It's okay to laugh and smile and get excited. Like, you don't have to be so serious all the time. And most of the adults, they don't like that character. It doesn't really apply to them. There's a few, but it's for the kids. It's like, wow, look at him. He's so happy. He loves wrestling, and it's just easy and straightforward. There's nothing behind the scenes. But if I was to go and change my character and be somebody completely different, it'd be really hard because that's what this whole episode is about. How would I get people to invest in me? Is it like a transformation? If I started with this body and then I posted on social media constantly how hard I was working and how good I'm trying to get in shape and how disciplined I'm being with my diet and my workout regime, and people can get behind that and have respect for you? Is it like the real life story where someone gets injured and they think they're never going to wrestle again, but then they manage to make a miraculous comeback? Are you invested because you're just like, wow, what a feel good thing? Imagine how that person would feel. Like, I find for me as a wrestling fan, when I'm in fan mode, I like the things that I can relate to, and I'm like, you know what, I can feel where that person's coming from, or I understand how they're thinking that, or what they're going through. So it's, to me, it's got to be something relatable that I can apply to my own personal life. But it's just an interesting question, and for the stories too. Like, to me in wrestling, I've always liked the long, slow build-ups, the underdog stories, but the ones where they just beat them down, beat them, beat them, beat them, beat them, beat them down, and then finally they get it. I like the slow payoff, the chase, and not just have just the underdog story. Have some real life put into it. I think the Daniel Bryan one was really well done because they kept saying, oh, how the WWE didn't want him to succeed, and they played into that in some of the promos, and they took such a slow, long build to get to it, and then they had him not even in the Royal Rumble the one year, and the fans got in an uproar. That was so well done, and don't think that they didn't know what they were doing. Like, oh, the fans changed the main event. Well, maybe they did, but they changed it a long time before that. It wasn't at that point. They knew like probably almost a year before that it was changed. And yes, the fans did play a big part in it. But I want to know, like as a wrestling fan, what makes you invested in the characters? Whether the TV or I want to know for the TV characters that you see and for the indie characters, is there a difference about what gets you invested, or is it the same things that capture your attention, whether it be on the big screen or the small screen or whatever? So let me hear it. As you know, on the Willow Show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling, Cuba.